I come to you, my friends, with a solution to all your Thanksgiving problems. This side-braised pork, mashed potato casserole kills 3 birds with 1 stone. The meat, the gravy, and mashed potatoes. And it's completely make ahead, freeing up your oven for what Thanksgiving is really all about: stuffing, veggies, and pies. If you don't eat pork, you can substitute any braise in its place. I've made it with turkey thighs, with short ribs, and even a lamb shoulder. Of course, for some people, Thanksgiving is all about a whole turkey, but this video might still be worth watching. It includes an update to my make-ahead mashed potatoes. No need for a water bath or last-minute mashing. Just assemble your mashed potatoes a day before and bake them before serving. As always, the recipe timestamp is in the description below, but first I want to tell you how this video went from this to this. There are 3 types of cooks in the US. The first type of cook has to roast the whole turkey, and nothing I will say will make them change their mind. The second type of cook is a rebel. They ditch the turkey for a much tastier protein like a beef tenderloin or a rack of lamb. The third type of cook is ambivalent. They don't really want a turkey, but want to stay within the flavor palette of a classic American Thanksgiving. I mean, you can certainly serve seared scallops, but they won't really work with stuffing and cranberry sauce. That's why I thought a bone-in, skin-on picnic shoulder could be a good idea. That you could totally serve with stuffing and cranberry sauce. So in September, I got to work developing that recipe. After 5 picnic shoulders, I got it to taste pretty good, but not amazing. Some parts were just delightful, but others were dry. On top of that, it wasn't solving any logistical problems. It takes a long time in the oven, it can set off your smoke alarm, and there's no hope of making it a day ahead. No matter how invested I was in this dish, I couldn't bring myself to give you a recipe that wasn't 100% awesome. That's when I got an idea for a reverse Thanksgiving. Why should the meat be the star of the show while the veggies are relegated to sitting on the sidelines waiting for their turn to use the oven? Why not give the leading role to the beautiful fall produce and relegate the meat and gravy and potatoes to the casserole? The only part about this that's not traditional is that it tastes too good. Other than that, I see this becoming my new Thanksgiving tradition. You can use any braise for this dish, but today I'll use apple cider braised pork that we made last week. I cooked 8 pounds of pork shoulder, which fit nicely into a 12-inch pan with straight sides. But you can use any casserole that's roughly 5 to 6 quarts in capacity. Mix the meat with the sauce, cool, cover, and refrigerate while working on mashed potatoes. Since this is a special occasion, I like to enhance my mashed potatoes with buttery onions, but that's completely optional. To make them, melt 3 tablespoons of butter in a 10-inch stainless steel skillet over medium heat. Add 3 diced yellow onions and some salt. I'm using a salt and pepper mix because I had it left over from pork, but the pepper is completely optional at this point. Stir and cook, stirring occasionally, for about 20 to 30 minutes. The goal is to get the onions tender and translucent before they start to brown. So if you see them browning too quickly, turn down the heat. If the bottom of the pan starts to dry up, add some more butter or switch to olive oil. By the time I was done, I added an extra 2 tablespoons of oil. Preheat the oven to 325 degrees. Peel 4 pounds of Yukon Gold potatoes and cut each potato into 6 to 8 wedges. Simmer gently in salted water until they slide right off your knife when you pierce them. Test several pieces to make sure they're all completely tender. Remove potatoes from the water with a slotted spoon or drain them in a colander. Before you mash them, it's crucial that you get the excess moisture out of them. In my previous mashed potato videos, I did that by setting the pot with drained potatoes over low heat and waiting for the moisture to evaporate. But if you're making a big batch, a more reliable option is to spread them on a baking sheet and put into the oven until they feel dry to the touch. Just be careful that you don't crisp them up. You can mash them any way you want. A ricer works, a masher works. How smooth you get them is up to you. The only thing that's important is that the first thing you stir into your potatoes is the butter. Coating the starch in fat will prevent that unpleasant grainy texture. I didn't want to move my camera to the stove, but it would be a better idea to melt the butter in the pot first and then rice the potatoes into it. Don't forget to taste and adjust for salt. Once your mashed potatoes are thoroughly buttered, it's time for something tangy, like sour cream, though you can also use cream cheese. And finally, you can thin them out with some hot whole milk to get them soft and creamy. Stir in the onions and correct for salt and pepper. Spread the mashed potatoes on top of the meat. Make sure to do that while the potatoes are still warm. It will be difficult to spread them when they cool off. You can bake this dish right away or cool it to room temperature, cover it and refrigerate it for a few days before baking. To bake, cover the casserole with a lid or foil and put into 375-degree oven for 40 minutes or until the center reads about 130 Fahrenheit. Then uncover, turn up the temperature to 425 and bake until the center reads about 160 and mashed potatoes are golden brown. Another 20 minutes or so. This is the timing assuming your casserole is cold from the fridge. If you didn't chill it, bake it uncovered at 425 for about 30 minutes or until bubbly and brown. This dish is very forgiving. You really can't overcook it. Now, let's talk about my favorite part of Thanksgiving, sides and pies. Below this video, I'll link to my Thanksgiving playlist. The biggest hits from the past years include a kale salad with roasted butternut squash, sautéed apples, and pumpkin seeds, butternut squash and pear soup, roasted Brussels sprouts with balsamic maple glaze, carrot and parsnip oven fries, sunchoke and Swiss chard salad, apple galette, and caramelized pear ginger tarte tatin. Happy and delicious Thanksgiving to you all.